In this brief video, let's cover some new functionality available today within the DocuSign CLM with the AI Extension package. What's the AI Extension? Well, the AI Extension allows someone to submit an agreement to a large language model and have it extract 17 different data points. Those 17 data points are listed right here. Let's see, one of 10 here. We'll do all. And as we scroll a little bit, these are the data points, and this is also available on the DocuSign support site for how many data points they offer. But what this display is showing is after that agreement was sent to the LLM, these are the actual raw extractions that were pulled out, and being able to view them in bulk, if you will, for this display. Now, how is this enabled? Well, a little bit of workflow and a little bit of a custom eForm enables this functionality. So out of the box, you're getting this functionality. Now, a couple of things here. There is a settings panel, and this can grow with time. But for now, just as an example, we can change the colors of certain rows, certain categories or data points to whatever we wish. So if we wanted to go even with a lighter color here, again, this is all fully customizable, and it will retain these choices for all the grids. So we're going to close that up. The page will refresh, and you can see here now we're a little lighter, maybe a little bit easier on the eyes, maybe not. So with assignable, effective date, indemnity, and party name, those are four that can be customizable depending on the needs of the business. The ability to copy all the rows, send to CSV, send to Excel, send to PDF is available. Pagination is built in, and there is also a search builder which will allow a user to figure out what they want to filter down by if that's a choice that they wish, so they can build that out. There's also a search panes feature where right out of the gate here you can start to search based on some of the values that are here. And last but not least, sorting, and even the ability to drag and move the columns around if you wish. So all this is built on a very nice open source grid, and that grid is MIT licensed, so it can be used. There's more to this story though, so let's say this first time the AI processed the data, and these were the results. But we'd like to actually do that again. Why? Well, envision a review cycle here. Envision the ability to have this paper that's going potentially back and forth for external review purposes. Let's envision that there's a review cycle. So of course you can use the red line feature to see what changes were made. But with the AI extension for DocuSign CLM, you now have another ability to have a large language model in effect extract those 17 data points again and determine through this new feature built into the CLM if changes were made, all within the CLM. So as we can see here, the analysis from the large language model has already returned, and we can certainly go through and accept these, and there's other videos that I've shown that allow you to see how all of this works. So we'll just really quickly do this. Now these values, you can see here are the clauses that it's found. So now in this case it's found 2 of them, but we only see 1 in the result. When the results come back, those that are picked to be the best example of that clause are the ones that right now are being retained. That doesn't mean though that I couldn't get this in here as well, and I probably will. So in the future you will see 2 of the limitation of liability clauses that the LLM found. And that just needs to be added into the results. Those results are already there. But now we're going to say, okay, and you don't even have to go through those steps on the left. You could really leave this as we're not putting any of those values in just yet. We're just gonna want to look at the clauses. So here now we've returned and we're legal here. We're going to say I want to take a review of it again. So now what's going to happen? Well, the results that we saw the first run are still there. That's our 937 run, if you will. And we're going to get another 17 results. So we're waiting on the next round of results to come through. And we see we have 34 now. So we went from 17 to 34. Well, how did that happen? The document was resubmitted to the large language model. It ran through looking for the 17 data points and it returned them. So now we have 34. And what we're going to see here is that the actual and the colors repeat here. So here's the next batch, basically, starting with assignable on down. So this is again another look at the information. What if red lines were made? What if there were changes in any of those 17 data points? Well, then they would show up here. You'd be able to filter them, sort them. You could do, I want to see assignable, I want to see effective date changes if there are any. I'd like to look at the limitation of liability, and right. So you can do whatever you need here. I'll do a termination cause. Okay, so here we go. And now if I sorted them based on category, I have the ability to immediately take a look and say, I don't see any changes. Now, could there be future functionality to actually compare for these data points? Compare these data points? Certainly. There's also the possibility that this information could be fed to a large language model, an AI, to say, tell me if there's any changes here, or perform an analysis of what we have. So what's important to note though is we're tracking when the runs were made, when the LLM processed it. So here's the first time, here's the second time. So you get a history of the changes to the document as extracted from the large language model. So this is a feature now that is available. It can be used with the AI extension, and I'm going to have other series of videos coming out that will show more of the red line process to this and how it can be used, as well as potentially being able to use this same concept, this same construct, this same architecture without a large language model. Because there is something in DocuSign, in the templates today, that can help to track. So there's a lot of power here. There's a lot of options. Another thing that I want to put in people's minds is this data has been extracted by one large language model. It can be processed by another large language model, or as many as you wish, to be honest. But do you have to do that? Do you have to send it to another large language model? Well, that's where things are changing. Offline, local large language models are a thing. The Opera browser is going to have built in to the browser large language models that will run locally on your computer. So, having to send this to another server to do further analysis, that may not be necessary or as necessary in the future. So please keep that in mind, that the extraction is very important to get the ball rolling. But at the end of the day, further analysis does not necessarily have to use a LLM that is not part of your computer or part of your organization. So there's a lot of power here. There's a lot of neat things that are happening with the ability to use large language models to extract content from unstructured data. Thanks.